The weather is about to change for a lot of people as we go through this weekend into next week, everybody, as this polar vortex comes in from the west and transitions all the way across the east, even towards the south for a day or two. So it won't be a long duration into the south, but it is bringing a lot of cooler temperatures and very cold wind chills. Now, this is kicking off our severe weather for today, and it has grown as well. We did see those upgrades I mentioned yesterday. So for tomorrow, you can see this a little bit further towards north. We even had the significant chance where we have a 5% chance for a tornado, even a significant severe where we could see a discrete supercell. Even QLCS tornadoes are possible as we go all weekend long. So on today's weather forecast, I'm going to show you what you can expect not only from the severe weather, also the polar vortex update, what's going on with this cold blast as it comes through for this weekend into next week. Now, the severe weather is starting for today and it is going all the way into the weekend. Unfortunately, this is going to start bringing some damaging winds towards the south, even chances for QLCS tornadoes all the way until Monday. We still could see a Tuesday somewhere along the Gulf Coast, right along the East Coast, maybe chances for some winds. But this is right where our cold blast is going to make the move. So after this weekend, it comes in from the west and it will come across the central and the eastern United States as we go into next week. So first, our severe weather for today. You can see thunderstorms in any of these green areas. There's no chances for tornadoes for today. It will be for wind and hail. So here's your cities and states at risk for possible winds for today. And here's your cities and states at risk for hail for today. Showing it will be very minor as we go through the day. You can see how you get some thunderstorms across the south, also coming from the northwest, even bringing some snow in the higher elevations. We also see some storms as brewing up over here for Indiana going through Ohio. This will bring chances for some damaging winds and some hail with that as well. This is starting right around 1 p.m. for today, and this is Central Time right here on top. You can see how that buses through towards Fort Wayne, going all the way towards Columbus, possibly with some winds before it starts breaking apart overnight. Also, what's coming through for the central and the north central. So you can see we have this big line of possible thunderstorms that's going to brew up as we go through the afternoon, still showing we have a cap in place, everybody. Matter of fact, the cap is going to be in place for tomorrow as well until tomorrow evening, where it gets really robust with the convection and the storms start kicking off. And you see the storms possibly might come in later on this evening, maybe initiating over here for the Dakotas. It's not really showing a lot of confidence. While the storms come in for Oregon, Idaho, Montana as you come through the evening, also into the overnight hours. This is bringing snow to the higher elevations in the Rockies as well. Now for tomorrow, this is where everything's going to start becoming more severe. So as we go through tomorrow evening, you see how there's no storms all morning long. Even with the moisture and precipitation coming to the north, we still have that cap. But once we get our daytime heating, the convection really breaks through that cap as you go through the afternoon, and we start seeing a line of storms congeal up. All the way from Nebraska, coming through western Iowa, southern Minnesota showing the most severe. But this is also going all the way through northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, into Canada as well as we go through the evening. Once again, this is Central Time on top, showing once we go around 4 to 5 o'clock, we're going to start seeing chances for some storms to form up. We could even see some discrete supercells pop up where it could heighten your tornado threat for tomorrow. And this is where you do have that risk also over here to the north for Minnesota and Wisconsin, bringing chances for slight winds, even chances for hail. But over here in the significant severe portion, this is where you can get chances for large to very large hail as that comes through for tomorrow night. And maybe a chance for a QLCS tornado to come right in that line of storms, a quasi-linear convective system, getting the rotations in between the system. So it could bring an embedded cell in there before it becomes robust and turns into more of a damaging wind event. And you see it carries all through Iowa, southern Minnesota, going through Wisconsin as you go later into the evening, just turn into a cluster of storms, regular thunderstorms, maybe a little bit of slight winds coming with it. But as you go overnight over here across Missouri, this is bringing more winds overnight into the early morning hours. Still showing in the latest model run, this will carry on further through the morning for Missouri as well. So you can see for day 3, this is where our severe weather is going to kick in. And this is where the squall lines are going to kick in and bring more chances for damaging winds, maybe even a QLCS tornado and more hail. Showing all the way until tonight, chances for hail to come across for Indiana, western Ohio, maybe even an isolated storm over here for eastern Pennsylvania. Coming through for the north central from Nebraska towards the Dakotas, even over here for the coast of Texas. You could see some hail come in that storm. But for tomorrow, this is where it really sparks up to a lot of large to very large hail all the way until Friday morning, where that front carries across Missouri into Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, just bringing a lot of hail with this storm. Once we go into tomorrow, towards the weekend. So for tomorrow, for Thursday, you can see thunderstorms in any of these green areas. You do have that tornado threat, like I showed you, the 2% to 5%, even the significant severe, where you could see a strong tornado. It is on the low end, but it is possible. So here's your cities and states at risk for a possible tornado for tomorrow, for Thursday. And that line on top, that's very hard to see. That's your chance for your significant severe. And so far, we have Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Wichita, Kansas. Now, this is bringing a wind threat for tomorrow as well. It won't be as strong as the hail threat, but so far, here's your cities and states at risk for some possible high winds for tomorrow and our hail threat for tomorrow. Not only the 5%, the 15%, we also have the significant severe, where you could see 2 inches in diameter of hailstones. So here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for tomorrow, for Thursday. And significant severe is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Omaha, Nebraska, Wichita, Kansas, Lincoln, Nebraska, and Topeka, Kansas. Showing that we still have this cap in place, everybody, but it should lift past this cap as we get a lot of convection through tomorrow evening. Then our storms will pop off. Now, as we go through for tomorrow evening, getting those storms that I just showed you through the model run all the way until Friday morning. You can see those storms coming through for Kansas, Missouri will last all the way into Oklahoma and go into Arkansas and some of Illinois as well, where it looks like we're still going to get a low pressure over here across the Great Lakes. It's not a strong low pressure, but still we have storms forming over here for Friday morning while we're getting that cold front coming through for the northwest. Now, as we go through for Friday evening, you can see that sparks up more damaging winds over here for the mid-Mississippi and lower Mississippi Valley, bringing chances for QLCS tornadoes in this line of storms. Also chances for damaging winds, even large hail that comes with that, everybody. All the way to overnight for Saturday. Then Saturday picks up right across the Central Plains all over again. Late Saturday evening, overnight, showing you could get some storms. Now, the latest runs show that this could be a weekend event as we go through for Saturday. Showing the low pressure that moves across for Thursday and Friday could end up over here along the East Coast and bring you some storms across the Southeast as we go through for Saturday evening. Also over here for Kansas, Oklahoma, and northern Texas. Chances for large hail, even damaging winds. Then as you go through Sunday, here's that low pressure that forms. It starts strengthening our low pressure, bringing a lot of chances more for damaging winds, tornadoes, and large hail. But from here on, everything has been changing dramatically. And you can see this as you go from Sunday, bringing a big storm system all across the Corn Belt, all the way across the Midwest, into Monday. Look how much further north this is. Yesterday's forecast, it was way further south by the Ohio Valley. Now it's showing a big damage and wind event with a squall line that could form up, and this could bring a tornado threat with it as well, everybody. Now, this is literally going just about 6 days away. This will move around again. So this is already going too far into the forecast. But with our weather pattern, we have chances for multiple fronts to form up because of this cold blast coming through. But it's still too far to know right past Sunday what this is going to do, everybody. But so far for your severe weather outlooks for Friday, you can see thunderstorms in any of this green area. And over here for southern Florida, you're the only one in Florida that's going to see rainfall. So it will help out with your drought as well. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for severe weather for Friday. This is chances for damaging winds, QLCS tornadoes, and large hail. You also can see that large hail and damaging winds should become the primary threats, everybody. Now, Saturday through Sunday has upgraded. Now we're seeing those upgrades I showed you yesterday. We have an enhanced risk for Saturday. Once again, damaging winds, large hail, and QLCS tornadoes are possible. So here's your cities and states at risk for severe weather for Saturday. For Sunday, it's going to be in the same region with the same threats. So here's your cities and states at risk for the severe weather for Sunday. Now, Monday is where it's going to be on the move, and we still don't know if this is going to go further towards the north or stay further towards the mid-Mississippi Valley. All your convection is staying over towards the mid-Mississippi Valley, so I'm not counting on this stretching too much further towards the north, but it will be a big marginal. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for severe weather for Monday. And you can see that these storms will be capable of producing strong winds, large hail, and QLCS tornadoes. But we also have this cool front coming through from Thursday into Friday, all the way until Monday. It's going to stay in that weather pattern from the northwest, going all the way across the Great Lakes and the Midwest. Now, once we get Monday and Tuesday, this is where the polar vortex is going to be on the move, bringing a lot of freezing temperatures towards north into Canada. Also, a lot of cold temperatures coming in for the U.S. and bringing a lot of wind chills with it as well. Now, as we go later into the week, this is where it goes further south into the U.S. from Thursday into Friday, all the way into next weekend. Then we're going to start warming up. So about 2 or 3 days of cooler weather is going to pass all the way towards the south. Then we should see a warmer pattern kicking in, but it could come right back again right afterwards. Remember, we have a chance for this to stick around all the way towards the 10th, maybe a little bit further in May. But then we're going to go back to our normal weather pattern, I do believe, whatever that is. Still showing is bringing multiple feet of snow into Canada and is bringing multiple feet of snow in the higher elevations of the Rockies and California and Nevada over here. Showing possibly 2 or 3 feet for Wyoming going through Montana. And you can see how much this system has moved around. So as we go for the rainfall with Weather Prediction Center, you see how you go all the way from that Monday beyond. Look how this is moving further towards the north, everybody. Instead of this big circle of 2 to 3 inches right here across Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky Valley, now it's switching gears. So this weather pattern is going to shift around. Anything past 3 days is doing some big shifts. And speaking of weather patterns, you can see the latest update with our ENSO report showing our chances to still go into a strong El Nino. A strong El Nino is all the way to that 1.5. A super El Nino would be that 2.0. And you can see the ensembles that's showing the 2.0. So the average is staying right on that 1.5. Now, this has come up a little bit since the last update. If you remember, it didn't even reach 1.5 in the last update, and this was updated a few days ago on the 19th. So it has risen up a little bit more. Now, I did a temperature update yesterday. I will do another temperature update for tomorrow. That way we can see what the new information is as we get a little bit closer. But that is your latest weather update on what's going on with this crazy weather pattern, everybody. Thank you again for your time. Hope you have a great and blessed Wednesday out there, everybody. I will see you again for tomorrow morning, of course, unless some dramatic changes this afternoon, which I'm not expecting. Now, before I go, a quick word from our Father, everybody. Despite things going on, the severe weather that's kicking in around the corner, do not fear. Remember, we don't practice fear here. Enjoy your life. This is the gift from God, everybody. Ecclesiastes 9:7-10. Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart. For God now accepteth thy works. Let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun. All the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Amen. Make sure you enjoy your life every day to the fullest, despite any dangers, despite anything else going on. That will always be there. But remember, you always have God on your side. Remember, above all things, everybody, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe every single day of your life. And forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. I'll keep you updated.